Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. We are very delighted to present two distinguished guests who are outstanding performers from the Indian subcontinent in the motion picture industry. As you're aware, India is the largest motion picture producing country in the world. The movie-going population of India is the largest of its kind in the world. And the heartthrob of India, one of the finest heroes, an extraordinarily talented young man, Mr. Shahid Kapoor.
बेटर लग रहा है।
और अब जो आप आ ही गए हैं तो बताइए आपका स्वागत कैसे करें?
Dude, मीरा is like Dawn. उसको समझना मुश्किल ही नहीं, नामुमकिन है।
Is her phone, sir?
Yes.
Yes, but obviously when we banged into each other, our phones must have got exchanged, right? So you must be having my phone.
Rubbish, you stole my phone.
We also would like to welcome to the show Mrunal Thakur.
अगर ऐसे ही चलता रहा तो खत्म हो जाओगे।
हम लोग तुम जैसी लड़कियों की हेल्प करते हैं यहाँ से निकलने में।
तुझे किस तरह बताऊं मैं कितना जरूरी तेरा प्यार है।
Absolutely delighted to have you both. Shahid, you've had so many super hits. Tell me about this exciting venture, Jersey.
Yes, thank you so much, Shan, first of all, for having us on your show. And yes, Jersey is a very, very special film. It's out very, very soon on the 30th of December, and we can't wait to share it with you all. It's a journey of the human spirit. It's the triumph of the human spirit. It's a human drama set against the backdrop of cricket. And it's a remake of a Telugu film which came out in 2019. And when I saw that film, I was emotional, I was motivated, I was inspired, and it hit me somewhere very deep in my heart, because even though this is a sports drama, it's a very personal film. The kind of emotions that you will go through in this film, the scenes with the characters from the family, the personal struggle of the character, the father-son dynamic, the husband-wife relationship, spanning over 10 years, and everything that happens between them. It's so relatable, and it's so real, and it's so it's so easy to connect with it, that this is probably one of my most special films. It's straight from my heart, straight to the audience's heart, hopefully.
उसकी नजरों में से एक कतरा भी कम मैं होने नहीं दूंगा विद्या।
Well, this was a great success, by the way, in the Telugu film industry when it was released, written and directed by Gautam Tinnanuri, if I remember.
Yes, that's true.
So tell me a little bit about the writer and the director.
Well, yes, like you said, the film has done very, very well. In fact, it won 2 national awards as well. So the director is very, very, he's very, very good at what he does. And he's very close to the story. I remember when I met him for the first time, the only thing he said to me, he said, Shahid, if doing this version of Jersey is the last thing I do, I'll be happy as far as I can make it well. So he is so close to this subject, and it's something that he is so intimately, passionately involved with, that really is at the heart of this story. His emotion is really at the heart of the story, and that is the reason why we felt the way that we felt when we performed this character. My character called Arjun and her character called Vidya. So he really is the heart and soul of the film, and he is a very quiet man. He doesn't say too much, but he's, I think, a very emotional man and a very sensitive man, because that's the kind of film that this is.
Mrunal, maybe you should now tell me what motivated you to take part in this particular film.
The relation between the father and the son, I could see myself there. And trust me, this entire journey was so enchanting for me, not just as an actor, but also as a human. Because, every character you play, you learn something out of it. This film has, I think, changed me as a person, and I'm on the path of this self-discovery. I have discovered so many things about me, and, it's quite an honor to work with Shahid and Pankaj, so sharing the same frame with them. It is a dream come true. And this character, especially Vidya, it was very difficult. After Love Sonia, I faced a lot of problem to feel, to get into the skin of this character. Also because we've already seen Shraddha in the original movie. She's set such a great benchmark, and there was certain kind of pressure on my shoulders. But the moment where I was on set, our director, Mr. Gautam, he made sure that we were comfortable, and he also made sure that we bring something different to the table, we think out of the box, and he was open to those suggestions, which kind of allowed me to just there was a great
Make it
warm up. Yeah. So uh, I would like to just add to this question that I'm so happy that I am a part of this movie, because there were little inhibitions earlier that, hey, you shouldn't be a part of another sports drama because I've just done one, or why would you like to play mother? Or there were people who were talking things about it. But for me, what matters is I need to associate and resonate with the character that I'm playing. And I knew that it's a winner story, and this is the kind of story that we, especially after pandemic and the situation that we were in, we need to watch something that would motivate, which would bring joy, and which would allow us to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finish.
Yeah. So I would like to dedicate. I've never said this earlier, but I would really like to dedicate this film to my father, because the amount of hard work that he's taken, I know he would stay away from us for months and months in order to provide what he did, and to make sure that all his 3 kids went to the best school. We were the first ones to get an admission in an English medium schools. Most of my cousins did not have that privilege. So I really want to thank my father.
किट्टू के लिए बर्थडे गिफ्ट लेना है।
टीवी के पास करंट बिल के 100 रुपीस रखे, आज भी पे नहीं किया ना तो कट कर देंगे।
किट्टू ने आज तक कभी कुछ नहीं मांगा मुझसे। मुझे 500 रुपए चाहिए विद्या।
Well, you're also a student of mass media. You have a
Yes.
BTech degree as well. You both are highly articulate and highly educated. Tell me about the combination of Bollywood and cricket, because this is considered to be religion in India. So tell me about the importance of this in your film.
But cricket is a huge part of our film, because the entire film is set against the backdrop of cricket. There is a lot of cricket in our film. I would say there's about 35-40 minutes of cricket in our film. But this film honestly could have been about anything. It could have been about a sport. It could have been about any other job, because the heart of the film is actually the human drama. So of course I spent extensive amounts of time learning cricket. I had to spend almost 6 months picking up the sport and making it look like I am a professional, playing it at the national level, and to make it look legit. There was a lot of work that went into it. But that's like, that's not the cake. That's the icing on the cake. The cake is actually the interpersonal dynamic. So I would say that, we watch so many sports people, and we see them on the field. But there were so many who almost made it. There were so many who tried and tried, but maybe didn't get that moment of limelight. Was their struggle and their journey any lesser? Should that not be celebrated? Is it always just about, winning something big, or, isn't the struggles and the journey worth celebrating? Why do we only celebrate the title? Why don't we celebrate the journey? And this film is about celebrating that journey, which happens to be that of a struggling cricketer, or a man who's trying to do something again that he couldn't do. And I'm now 40 years old, so a lot of people think that people in their 20s are the only ones who are ambitious. But that same guy, when he's in his 30s, is still the same guy. He still has
Absolutely.
all that ambition and drive inside him. It's just that because now he is a man, he has a family, he has responsibilities. He needs to choose wisely. He cannot walk around with attitude on his collar, trying to tell people that he is great at something. He has to let that go, because it's not about him anymore. It's about his family.
It's time for you to decide. तुमको लाइफ में क्या चाहिए? And if you choose cricket, हम तुम्हारे साथ नहीं रहेंगे.
And that's the journey that this film tells of every man. And it talks about that hidden part of that man that he never shows the world, but it's there inside him. This guy decides to chase that emotion. And that's very inspiring. Like, it was very inspiring for me. It made me believe that anything's possible.
Shan will join us after this break. Do stay with us.
You both take your roles very seriously and have very sort of dedicated experience. The way you described about cricket, for that matter, you played the dual role in a film as twins in which there was a stuttering problem, there was a lisp problem, but you actually went to speech therapists and you really spent time, from what I heard. Now, that's the kind of dedication that you have shown.
पैसा कमाने के दो रास्ते हैं, एक शॉर्टकट और दूसरा छोटा शॉर्टकट.
I think the fact that I am married and I have 2 children and I am a father and I have, gone through various phases in my career, some successful, some where I struggled. And, my journey as an actor is still a very ongoing journey. I still don't feel that I've arrived at some great place. I feel that there is still a lot to do. And so I could really connect with this character. In fact, because the film is based in the 90s, I could actually connect to, people that I looked up to, men earlier. I think they would not really ever express everything that they felt, These days, it's very easy to, just put a tweet out or put a status out on WhatsApp telling the world how you feel. But back then, when a man felt something really strongly, and if he was, a refined man, he would probably go alone for a walk and sort his head out and come back. And that's the character that I play, in this film. Arjun is that kind of a guy, the classic man. And so for me, it was a privilege to get to play a character like him.
That's fantastic.
I had to delve deep into his psyche, and drew references from my mamu, my father, my grandfather. Those were the references that I drew for this character, that when they were young, how would they have been?
मुझे 500 रुपए चाहिए विद्या.
तो जितना मांग रहा है उतनी कमाई है नहीं.
मुझे पता है तुम्हारे अकाउंट में.
पता है? ठीक है, नहीं देना मुझे.
Mrunal, in your case, Love Sonia was a subject that dealt with human trafficking, for that matter. And in order to really study that character, from what I heard, you actually went and spent some time in a real brothel just to see what really happens.
I stayed there for a week. And
wow.
Yeah, it was not a great experience, but I realized that they were at that stage of my life. I wanted like handbags and fancy cars and a big house. But when I spent those 8 days, I realized that we're living in a bubble. We all need there are people who need just one window in their house, like where they can just get fresh air, or people who just want to live their life. They don't want to be in this human trafficking circuit, in this, they don't want to be stuck in it. So I realized that we are living in a bubble. We should appreciate that we have family, we have roof, we have great friends, and we have everything that we need. And I'm very thankful for my parents. And I just realized that this world it's really a difficult place. The society also, like I mentioned earlier in my previous interview, that people try to pull you down. It's a bubble that we are living in.
Hello, welcome to Mumbai.
अबे किस किया तुझे?
सिर्फ हाथ पकड़ा.
कोई बात नहीं, सीख जा.
My first Love Sonia, it allowed me to become alert. It allowed me to be aware as to what is happening. And the best thing that happened to me as an actor was the fact that I'm choosing these subjects which allows the audience to know what is actually happening in the society. And we kind of saved a couple of girls after this movie. And there is this friend of mine who actually started an NGO. They saved around 17 to 18 girls. And this film actually traveled to a couple of film festivals and Uzbekistan, and they changed the laws out there. So if a film like Love Sonia could do that, could have that impact on the audience and make this society a better place to live in, there's nothing more that I want. Trust me. And even after watching Jersey, when people will watch it and they'll come out of the theaters, they would have this joy and they would be soft, because I felt that I could relate with that. And I think everyone needs second chances in their lives, and no one else gives them. It's the universe that makes those opportunities, and there are these opportunities that you have to grab it. All you have to do is just be alert and aware about it, and celebrate life.
घर में अपनी बीवी से चोरी कर रहे हो तुम. हर रोज लगता है कि इससे ज्यादा नहीं गिर सकते तुम, बट यू प्रूव मी रॉन्ग एवरी सिंगल टाइम. ऐसे देखती हो ना तो सब लगता है कि मेरी वजह से हुआ. यू लिसनिंग टू मी? मेरी तरफ देखो एटलीस्ट.
That is fabulous. Both of you have received awards, but in your case, Shahid, my God, how many awards have you received?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Each time you receive an award, what does it mean in your career?
Yeah, the thing with awards is that it's interesting to receive awards. It's very, you feel very grateful that you've been appreciated. But, after having worked for so many years, I just want people to love my movies. Everything else is a part of the game. It comes, it goes. It's, it makes you feel good. But I just want people to get in that theater and have a wholesome experience. And I think when you go back to the basics and you go back to the fundamentals, it reminds you that when you were a viewer, when you fell in love with cinema, you fell in love because actors could really make you feel a certain way. They could make you cry, they could make you happy, they could leave you with something that was almost maybe therapeutic in life, where you felt liberated after watching something, or you felt like you're not the only one feeling a certain way. And to me, that really is what I'm chasing. As much as it's very humbling to receive appreciation and acknowledgement, but deep down, after having worked for all these years, the only thing I'm chasing is giving the audience an experience that maybe will touch them somewhere in their heart. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. And that's why you decided that let's just break up with Krish on his birthday. वो एक दिन जब वो खुश होना चाहता है, let's just screw it up for him, right?
You've had accolades and praise from all walks of life. You've done period films. And let's talk about one of your earliest, the big hits, box office hits, Jab We Met.
I think it'll be like some kind of an eternal film. Even like when I'm 60 years old, there'll be some people who'll still be watching it.
It's a cult film, I think.
I guess. So I guess I'm just fortunate to be a part of that journey. It was just a very honest film. It had very strong characters. And again, it was eventually the message of the film that mattered, that life is a circle. People come in your life and, they give you something, and it's your turn then to return that positivity back into the universe. That's what the film was about.
You know what, Geet? तुम्हारी ये मनोहर कहानियां वाली philosophy है ना, इसे तुम अपने पास रखो. Right now you're coming with me.
तुम मुझे फोर्स नहीं कर सकते हो आदित्य.
Of course कर सकता हूँ, Geet.
Mrunal, maybe, you can answer this. He's acted with some of the finest heroines of India, especially in Teri Meri Kahani, Priyanka Chopra, who is now world famous. And with Kareena Kapoor and several other big stars, with Deepika Padukone in Sanjay Leela Bansali's movie. So, for you to now co-star with him, how does it feel?
Sir, I must confess this. The day the news was out that I am doing a movie with Shahid Kapoor, which is called Jersey, my college friends died that day. They died, and they're like, Mrunal, could you please let us know when you start filming? And we would come on set, and I said, nothing like this is going to happen. You guys are not going to come disturb me, because this is once in a lifetime opportunity, and I want to make sure that I'm performing the best. It's a privilege to work with him, because I think I am a big fan of Shahid, and he knows that, and it gets a little intimidating. It gets really overwhelming to be able to stand in front of him and perform and share the same screen space. It's a dream come true for me.
Shan will join us after this break. Do stay with us.
Shahid, in the history of Indian cinema, when you were a child growing up, you come from an extremely artistic family where everybody was involved in art and culture and film and television. Who were the people that you looked up to aside from your father and your mother?
When it comes to art, I was born in Delhi, and so I was exposed to a lot of Indian classical dance and Indian classical music. So my mom was a student of Pandit Birju Maharaj, who's a Padma Shri and just a phenomenal dancer, probably the greatest Kathak exponent we've had from this country. I used to listen to people like Zakir Hussain sitting on the side in the stage. They used to play with me in their lap, because they were all friends of my mom's, and they were all colleagues of my mom. So I was this young kid, because my mom was only 21 when I was born. So she was very, very young. And she roamed around with me at the age of 25. I used to just keep like going with her everywhere. And so a lot of classical dance and music was the first thing that I was exposed to. Cinema happened a little later to me. I think cinema happened to me after I turned 10 years old. And of course, I've seen Dilip Saab, Mr. Bachchan, Balraj Sahani, Raj Kapoor, Guru Dutt. That's the cinema that I've grown up watching and loving. So I think I was very fortunate to be exposed to some very fine work, not just commercially successful, but genuinely brilliant talent. And so I think I was very blessed to have that.
Some of the people that you mentioned, by the way, we've had the honor of featuring them all in our studio, right from the days of Devanand, Dilip Kumar, and Raj Kapoor.
That's amazing.
And the finest of film producers and directors, right from V. Shantaram, to B.R. Chopra and Ramanand Sagar. We've had them all in the studio. And
Wonderful.
we are very delighted to have you both now as part of our series, especially this is a tribute to Indian cinema.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
By the way, congratulations to you for doing this film amidst the pandemic, because it was
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, during COVID, everything changes. We had major restrictions. Everybody needed to be very limited in their interactions with each other. Sanitization of locations that we were shooting in. Challenges of deciding where to stay, because this film is very outdoor. It's not really inside a studio or something like that. It's shot on real locations, and we still had about 45 days of shooting left in the film. And we shot in stadiums, we shot cricket. So we had to deal with, we shot at railway stations, we shot in different cities. We had to deal with a lot, and, full marks to the team for pulling it off in style. And we started shooting when there were no vaccines. We started shooting at a time when there were no vaccines, and there were over 100,000 cases every day in the country. So, hats off to the team for pulling it off. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Again, hearty congratulations to both of you. And we want to wish you all the best. And we wish the movie a thumping success.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The next time you come to visit North America, you have a standing invitation from us. We would love you to come and visit us in Toronto in our broadcast center and studio. And we want to do a dedicated special with you to follow up as well.
We would
and
love
by the way, my nephew did the music for this film, Anirudh Ravichandar.
He's excellent.
Oh, he's too good.
If he's your nephew, I must tell you, he's such an exceptional boy. It's exceptional how young he is and how talented he is. He's absolutely fantastic. And he's done a tremendous job with the background score of the film.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. But again, God bless you. And I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you. It was a pleasure speaking to you, sir.
And you both will come out in flying colors. We will do a follow-up with you when you receive the awards for this film as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.